on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So today is it's freaking D-Day. It's freaking real deal time. You know what that is, right? You know what that means? Let me explain. Killin It Mega Truck. It's locked and loaded. Just got it back from SRQ Customs with that super bitchin' new center console. Thing is freaking real deal. If y'all didn't get a chance, check that freaking video out. Thing came out tits. We got that actually in the same video. We did the center console, added a little bit of stereo equipment, redid all the tinting in the truck, and did a couple of little things in the interior. So if you didn't already, make sure you check that video out. But we got the truck back from SRQ Customs late last night. So today we are taking it over to the Mad Scientist home laboratory so we can start giving old Killin It her freaking heart transplant. Finally, dude, we've been waiting for this for what, like 8 months now? 8 months, something like that, since it blew up over at Iron Horse back in March earlier this year.
Killing it, bro.
I killed it. It's killed. Yeah, freaking sucked. Not our finest hour at all. But dude, that's all behind us now because we are about to put a twin turbo, 1,000 horsepower, fully built SoCal diesel Duramax in this freaking thing. Oh, shit. But the Mad Scientist is waiting on me, so let's go ahead and get the freaking drive out of the way, get the truck on down there, get it loaded into his freaking home shop, and it's time to start disassembling. But before we do that, as always, make sure you hit the like button at the bottom of the screen and hit the subscribe button down there in my channel name. That way you get notified anytime I upload any other videos. So let's freaking get this show on the road. It's freaking go time, y'all. Finally, old Killin It is coming back to life. Oh, boy. Happening, bro. We are on the way to the Mad Scientist laboratory to do a heart transplant on the Killin It Mega Truck. Yeah! So freaking pumped up. Finally gonna have a mega truck in, y'all. That's like 8 months y'all been dealing with me, and I ain't even had a truck. Imagine when I got a freaking truck. Oh, shit. So pumped up. And I'm not the only one pumped up. Mad Scientist freaking called me at 6 a.m. this morning. It's a Saturday right now. 6 a.m. and said, dude, when's the truck gonna be here? I couldn't even sleep last night. So I'm so excited to help you swap the motor out in this thing and do all the other freaking upgrades you're about to do it. It's freaking real deal, people. This is not a drill. Letting you know. It's freaking party time, people. Oh, brother. All right, we're all unchained. Brian, how pumped up are you, bro?
I'm not excited at all.
What do you mean? You called me at 6 a.m. this morning telling me you're pumped up.
My whole life for the next 3 months is going to be working on this big blue.
Awesome, amazing, freaking panty-dropping machine.
Exactly what I was going to say.
That's, I knew it, knew it. Took the words right out of your mouth. Let's get her loaded up. Y'all, she is officially at the Mad Scientist house. It's a very exciting moment because the Mad Scientist agreed for it to come here, which is a big step, and it's actually here. And she's seen some better days. Yeah, not so good. But it's all right, we're gonna fix this, right, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, super pumped up. Look how excited you are. I knew it.
What are you doing here?
First step is gonna be to get the wheels off and get her down on the floor because Brian says we need enough room to be able to get the engine out that a ways. So that's the first step. All right, she's officially de-tired. Now it's time to start pulling the stuff that I know how to pull off before we bring in the reinforcements.
Yeah.
All right, Brian's first glance at his future.
All right, we're done.
All right, we're making pretty good progress. Got the front grill out, headlights are out. Brian's been working up there. I've been doing the brainless stuff down here. Got the fender wells out. Got all the coolant drained. Yeah. Looks like he's just about got the intake
put half
out.
the bolts in for this intake. It's way easier to get off.
He didn't forget to put the nitrous in.
It's all lubed up with nitrous.
Getting there. Well, you're getting there. All right, so we just got the radiator out. So this is about as far as I got before at my house when I had to pull the radiator out to send it to Mr. Garth for him to make that custom radiator for me. So Mad Scientist just pulled that out of the engine bay. So now we're in uncharted waters. Feel good about it?
No, this is way further than I've ever been, so it's perfect.
You said you did this before?
No, ever, never.
Now, just pull the alternator bolts out, cut the belt off. Needs to get the driver's side alternator. It's freaking slowly coming apart. Super bitchy. Like that. Look at that. That's the turb scoot we were running. It's the first that we've seen her. What do you think, dude?
Slow but surely.
Definitely making serious progress. There's so much room for activities in here. We were just talking about it. Yeah. Looks like there's a lot going on, but there's a lot less going on than there was about 2 hours ago. So we got turbo mouthpiece pulled off. We got the alternators out. They were here and here. Got the radiator and intercooler out. That's just the air condenser. We got all the intake obviously is out. The exhaust was already out because I was spitting oil all over the damn thing whenever I drive it anywhere. So that was already kind of out. Got the belt off. What else? Oh yeah, and then Brian just pulled all the tubing that kind of went around for the coolant and all. Went down over to the water pump and connected right down yonder. Let's see here. Right down there, see that little silver ring right there? Connected to that. Went underneath the fan and then popped up here. So all that's removed. We're about to the point we gotta start waiting for Mr. Josh Mendenhall. It's time to start pulling the big boy stuff. All right, y'all, we're making damn good progress. So the Mad Scientist had to go attend to his other duties. But since he left, I got the A-frame pulled out of there, like where I held the, that's actually part of the mount that held the intercooler and the radiator and the air condenser and the auxiliary transmission cooler. So pull that out of there so that way it'll be much better access for the engine. We'll be able to pull it right on out of the front. Had to disconnect the auxiliary transmission cooler and all that too in order to do that. But that's pretty much all that I've done ever since Brian left. So give you a rundown, kind of give you a look. Everything is much more accessible now. Check it out. Now that we got the headlights out, the grill, and all this bracket work and everything that went across here, it should be much, much easier to pull that motor out. It's definitely gonna have to pop the hood off still, because the game plan here is gonna be, he'll move the side-by-side out of here, open this garage door, and we're gonna bring the forklift or lull. I'm not sure yet what we're gonna use, but we'll pull it in through this garage door. We just gotta watch out for that ceiling fan, but we'll sneak right on over here. Hood will be out of the way and be able to pull the engine right on out. So this is about as far as we're gonna go for day one as far as pulling the engine. A lot of the stuff, like I said, I didn't video a lot of it because I put it in some of my other videos. If you look even earlier on in the Killin It Resurrection series, I actually pulled most of this stuff off in order to get the things ordered, like to get the new radiator that we got built from TCP Performance, or to get the new, I didn't have to pull the intercooler out, but I did have to pull that radiator out so that Garth over there at TCP Performance could have a template for making my new custom radiator. So that's all in that video. If you guys want to see how that stuff came apart, just check that video out. And then the last couple of little things are pretty simple. I mean, there's a couple bolts that hold those alternators on. The belt, that's pretty simplistic stuff. Pulling it, just loosening the tensioner, getting the belt off. The fan shroud and all that stuff is all stuff that I pulled off when we were pulling that radiator out originally. So we did do obviously a few other things, but for the most part, I didn't think you guys really want to see us pulling this nasty junk out anyway. It's more important to watch us freaking put this super bitchin' new engine and new twin turbo freaking WC Fab freaking twin turbo kit with a freaking Danville Performance freaking not one but two Derpsies freaking 68 millimeter and a 88 millimeter turbo, freaking real deal. That's what's more important. So this pulling this 10-year-old 180,000 mile plus 3 years of a mega truck crap out of here, that's not very fun. That's not very killing it. So that's why I didn't video much of that. So just about to call it a day because the main brains behind doing engine type work that's going to be helping us out a whole bunch is going to be Josh Mendenhall. Good buddy of ours, comes to a lot of events with us. He's part of our crew. He'll be over here tomorrow to help us do the nuts and bolts of this actually pulling the engine out, getting everything prepped. I'm thinking tomorrow we're going to get the engine basically prepped to where it can come out. And then Monday or Tuesday, in the next like 2 days, 3 days, we'll try to get a forklift over here to where we can actually pull this old motor out, get it on a motor stand. Then we'll be getting the new engine over here. And yeah, it's freaking go time. So to round out this day, I'm just going to do a couple other little small things. I'm going to sneak underneath here, and the transmission obviously is going to come out. We're going to pull the transmission out and take it over to our good buddy Steve over at Randy's Transmission. Have him go through everything, make sure none of the clutches are burning out prematurely, and make sure that everything is how we expect it to be. Because originally when we built this into a mega truck, like actually as it was becoming a mega truck, Justin over at JH Diesel went and actually built my transmission for me. He got a kit for a stage 4 Suncoast internals. So he went ahead and pulled the transmission, swapped out, I honestly don't even know all the parts, clutches, input shaft, and I don't know what else is involved, to be honest with you. I'm not going to BS you. But he built most of it, but he said there's a couple of things that he didn't swap out because he didn't think it was necessary. So we're going to check everything, make sure everything's copacetic, because now that we're going to be running a lot more horsepower, we want to be able to have that transmission be able to hold up. So all that being explained, to get this transmission out of here, what we're thinking we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull this front drive shaft out. I'll pull the jack shaft out, a little short drive shaft. And then hopefully that will give us enough room that we can sneak the transmission jack underneath the truck. Just try to slide in there in between the 4 links to be able to help us get the transmission out. Brian and I were just looking at it and we're thinking maybe we might have to pull one of the upper 4 link bars off. The truck will be fine. It might sit a little bit to one side, but not enough to even really matter. As long as we got the other one on there, it'll keep the truck up and supported. But we might have to sneak one of those 4 link bars out so that way we can actually get the transmission out of this cavity, because I don't know that it will fit between this gap. It's kind of a tighter gap. So I'm going to pull those drive shafts off, and then we're probably going to call it a day for day 1. And just a little heads up for y'all. Like I said, I know I didn't video a whole lot because I didn't really want to, but I am going to have time-lapse cameras set up as we actually start getting into pulling the motor, because it was all kind of nonsense we were pulling off today. So as we start pulling the motor in the upcoming videos, the upcoming episodes of Killin It Resurrection, there's going to be time-lapse videos, and you guys will be able to see how we pull everything apart. But this was all just BS that I've kind of already videoed before. But let me get these drive shafts out, and we'll probably call it a day. Okay, y'all. We're pretty much wrapping up day 1 of the Killin It Resurrection demolition. Freaking super bitchin'. So, got the drive shafts out. So we got a decent amount more space to get to the old transmission. Got the lower shaft out. Got the jack shaft out. So, I don't know, we'll see. Like I was saying earlier, we might have to pull one of these 4 link bars in order to snake the transmission out, and obviously the transmission mount will be out of the way. And then, yeah, we'll see how we're going to snake her out of there. But other than that, dude, we are looking pretty freaking good. Not bad at all for the first freaking day. I didn't really do anything else to the engine bay since I was just talking to you a second ago. But, yeah, got room for days to be able to get that motor out. Looking pretty dialed in. So from here, I think we're going to wait for Mr. Josh Mendenhall. He's the brains behind the engine side of things for Team Killin It. So he's going to help us figure out what we got to do to get that engine out of that truck. Not really a whole lot more. I mean, it looks like there's a lot. There really isn't too much more to do. But we'll see. I could be pleasantly surprised because I'm not very knowledgeable about this stuff yet. I am getting there, though. I'm definitely learning with the rest of y'all. Looking pretty freaking bitchin', though, guys. So now to wrap up this day, actually, look at all the parts that we've pulled off. I got them all. Mr. Brian, freaking Matt Sign, just hooked me up again, gave me a whole freaking table. All for my bullshit, huh? Pretty cool. So I started putting everything in bags, labeling where all the bolts go, so we'll have a chance in hell of getting this thing back together once we're done. Well, I got the freaking alternators, got my old air intake system, AC lines, cold side freaking intercooler piping. Got a lot of this stuff, so that's where I was going with this. A lot of this is not going to be reused because I've got all new stuff. Luckily, our good buddies over there at freaking WC Fab hooked me up with literally every freaking thing that they make that will go on this truck. How badass is that? When me and Mr. Dustin were talking on the phone, this is a couple months ago now, but when they finally decided to sponsor me and we were going to move forward with the sponsorship, he's like, all right, so what were you thinking? What do you got in mind? Like, what do you want for your truck? Like, from the parts that we offer? I said, everything.
All that in here.
Done.
He's like, are you sure? I'm like, Yeah, every last thing. Anything you make that goes on an LMM Duramax, hook a brother up. So that's what we got. So a lot of this stuff, like the coolant hose right there, like all this piping that we had from Profab, our freaking overflow tank for the coolant. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is not going to be used. The mouthpiece for the turbo. Obviously, the whole intake's going away because we're doing twin turb skis. The air condenser we're going to reuse. Radiator's going away. Intercooler's going away. So we got both those new ones. If you guys didn't see earlier on the channel, pay attention because we got some new super bitchin' ones. We'll reuse the fan shroud, I believe, as long as it should all fit factory. And then I think we're going to do a little modification to this front A-frame setup that kind of supports everything and supports the front of the truck, because we're going to put 2 big pusher fans for me to turn on just in a truck tug-of-war type situation. Because that is one thing that is a killer on this truck. If that just as luck would freaking have it. The thing that I like to do the very most with the truck is one of the most hardest things on the truck. You're literally, well, at least the way I do it, freaking pedal to the freaking floor for sometimes up to 2-3 minutes, and the truck isn't really moving per se. The wheels are ripping, but it's not really moving, so you're not getting really any airflow. So Mad Scientist had this super bitchin' idea. Let's go ahead and get some freaking pusher fans. We'll put that on the front of the radiator and intercooler, and that way I'll probably leave them off majority of the time. If I'm mud bogging, might flip them on, but ideally I'm gonna have them turned on anytime I'm in a truck tug-of-war type situation, so to help kind of rush that airflow. And that way, if we put the 2 pusher fans on the front, we can still keep the clutch fan. Now, I'll get into this a little bit more as we start getting into the new build and everything and putting everything in and installing. I'll explain a little more. But basically, the clutch fan is right up yonder. And that thing, as you can see, is massive, and it moves a ton of motherfucking air. Now, you can get a bunch of electric fans, but from what everybody's told me, you cannot get a fan that will move that volume of air as that big son up there. It's really hard to get enough electric fans to be able to push that volume of air. Now, the downside of that is you got to have your RPMs up and everything for it to work. So, there's a couple other downsides to it. But when that clutch fan's engaged, that thing is ripping some air. So we get some pusher fans to even help it along even more. Should be dialed in. But anyways, that being explained, that A-frame that I was just talking about a second ago, we're likely going to have to modify it a little bit. We're not going to have that transmission auxiliary cooler anymore because we got a whole nother cooler set up for that sort of stuff. But we're probably going to modify this A-frame a little bit to make it more kind of go around everything so I can have good access and serviceability to my front pusher fans. My super bitchin' grill is going to get reused. I do have an idea of something I want to do to that, though. Got to talk to Mr. Bryan about that. Might involve Mr. Naaman and some of their machining abilities. I don't know. We'll see. That's something off down the road. But anyways, I'm going to go through all this stuff and everything that we're not going to be reusing. I'm going to go ahead and start taking home because we're probably going to need a lot more table space because there's still a lot of items that still got to come out of the engine bay of that truck for us to do this engine swap. So everything that we probably won't reuse, that I know for sure we won't reuse, I'm gonna go ahead and grab and take on home and just have it stored in my shop somewhere, in my barn somewhere. But that is gonna conclude day 1 of Killin It Deconstruction, another episode of Killin It Resurrection. And I do wanna say one other thing because I got the shop to myself for a second, so I don't gotta listen to no nonsense from nobody. How freaking fortunate, dude. I mean, I just wanna go ahead and say, I know I've said it a bunch of times in the other videos and all, but dude, Brian is the freaking man, dude. Look at this shop. I get to freaking work on the mega truck in with 2 experts. And to think he's doing all this for me just because he's one of my best friends. Like, you know what you're signing up for when you decide to be friends with me, bro? I didn't know. If I had to guess, you didn't think all this was going to be involved, huh? Man, wonder if you regret that decision. Based on your mannerisms sometimes in a video, and it kind of seems that way. And dude, to come and like, you spent the whole morning helping me pull that engine bay apart, helping me get the truck in here, get the wheels off it, get it set on the ground. Not to mention he's giving me free access to his freaking shop to work on my big blue mega truck. Yeah, I was gonna say something else too, but my big blue mega truck. Like, how badass, dude. We should all be a little bit like Brian. Freaking super blessed to have a friend like that. I don't know what I did in the past life to deserve it. I still don't think I deserve it, but it's freaking awesome. Super freaking killing it. So, how badass though. Pumped up, dude. We are gonna have a Killin It mega truck again with a twin turb ski 2,000 horsepower, fully built SoCal diesel Duramax. Oh, brother, it's gonna be sick, sicker than shit, bro. So, hope you all enjoyed the video. As always, make sure you hit the like button at the bottom of the screen, hit the subscribe button down there on my channel name. That way you get notified anytime I upload any other videos, like more Killin It Resurrection videos. We're bringing this freaking Killin It mega truck back to life. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, y'all. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to check out future videos, subscribe to our channel. Hit that button right there. While you're at it, hit the like button at the bottom of your screen. You can also check out our website, KillinItLifestyle.com. There you can follow the Killin It crew and order your own apparel so everyone will know you're killing it!